find that book. This story so far. Like I said, this book has like that's 63. Yeah, 63 chapters. That's a lot of chapters. Even though that they're short. I try to match my makeup to the border of Groot, Guardians of the Galaxy. It's slipping, so let's take this off. My little earbud things keep coming out. Okay, let's flip some pages. Okay, let's get started. Gotta get comfy. Okay, are you comfy? Let's get comfortable. Okay. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Chapter 18. End of an advisor. No sooner had the guardsmen got their feet to return home than Lord Flapoon came bursting into the room, looking worried. What now? Groaned Spittleworth, who very much wanted his bath and bed. The chief advisor panted Flapoon, and sure enough, Herringbone, the chief advisor, now appeared, wearing his dressing gown, an expression of outrage. I demand an explanation, my lord, he cried. What stories are these that reach my ears? The Ickabog reel, Major Beamish dead, and I've just passed 3 of the king's soldiers being dragged away under sentence of death. I have, of course, instructed that they be taken to the dungeons to await trial instead. I can explain everything, Chief Advisor, said Spittleworth with a bow, and for the 3rd time that evening he related the tale of the Ickabog attacking the king and killing Beamish, then the mysterious disappearance of Noby Buttons, who Spittleworth feared had also fallen prey to the monster. Herringbone, who'd always deplored the influence of Spittleworth and Flapoon on the king, waited the Spittleworth to finish his farrago of lies with the air of a wily old fox who waits at a rabbit hole for his dinner. A fascinating tale, he said, when Spittleworth had finished, but I hereby relieve you of any further responsibility in the matter. Lord Spittleworth, the advisor, will take charge now. There are laws and protocols in Cornucopia to deal with the emergencies such as these. Firstly, the men in the dungeons will be given a proper trial. so that we can hear their version of events. Secondly, the list of the king's soldiers must be searched to find the family of the Nobi Buttons and inform them of his death. Thirdly, Major Beamish's body must be closely examined by the king's physician so that we may learn more about the monster that killed him. But that's a problem. Spittleworth opened his mouth very widely, but nothing came out. He saw his whole glorious scheme collapsing on top of him, and himself trapped beneath it, imprisoned by his own cleverness. Then Major Roach, who was standing behind the chief advisor, slowly put down his rifle and took his sword from the wall. A look like a flash of light on dark water passed between Roach and Spittleworth, who said, "I think, Herringbone, that you are ripe for retirement." Steel flashed, and the tips Roach's sword appeared out of the chief advisor's belly. The soldier gasped, but the chief advisor didn't utter a word. He simply knelt, then toppled over dead. Spittleworth looked around. The soldiers had agreed to believe in the Ickabog. He liked seeing the fear on every face. He couldn't feel his own power. Did everybody hear the chief advisor appointing me to his job before he retired? He asked softly. The soldiers all nodded. They just stood by and watched murder and felt too deeply involved to protest. All they cared about now was escaping this room alive and protecting their families. Very well then, said Spittleworth. The king believes that the Ickabog is real, and I stand with the king. I am a new chief advisor, and I will be devising a plan to protect the kingdom. All who are loyal to the king will find their lives run very much as before. Any who stand against the king will suffer the penalty of cowards and traitors, imprisonment or death. Now I need one of you gentlemen to assist Major Roach in burying the body of our dear chief advisor, and be sure and put him where he won't be found. The rest of you are free to return to your families and inform them the danger threatening our beloved cornucopia. Chapter 19. Lady Islanda. Spittleworth now marched off toward the dungeons. With Herringbone gone, there was nothing to stop him killing the 3 honest soldiers. He intended to shoot them himself. There would be time enough to invent a story afterwards. Possibly he could place their body in the vault where the crown jewels were kept and pretend that they'd been trying to steal them. However, just as Spittleworth put his hand on the door to the dungeons, a quiet voice spoke out of the darkness behind him. Good evening, Lord Spittleworth. He turned and saw Lady Islanda, ravened hair and serious, stepping down from the dark spiral staircase. You're awake late, my lady, said Spittleworth with a bow. Yes, said Lady Islanda, whose heart was beating very fast. I couldn't sleep. I thought I'd take a little stroll. This was a fib. In fact, Islanda had been fast asleep in her bed when she was woken by a frantic knocking on her bedroom door. Opening it, she found Hetty standing there, the maid who'd served Spittleworth his wine and heard his lies about Nobi Buttons. Hetty had been so curious about Spittleworth was up to after his story about Nobi Buttons that she crept along to the guard's room and, by pressing her ear to the door, heard everything that was going on inside. Hetty ran and hid when the 3 honest soldiers were dragged away, then sped upstairs to wake Lady Islanda. She wanted to help the men who were about to be shot. The maid had no idea that Islanda was secretly in love with Captain Goodfellow. She simply liked Lady Islanda best of all all the ladies at the court and knew her to be kind and clever. Lady Islanda hastily pressed some gold into her Hetty's hand and advised her to leave the palace that night, because she was afraid the maid now might be in grave danger. Then Lady Islanda dressed herself with trembling hands, seized a lantern, and hurried down the spiral staircase beside her bedroom. However, before she reached the bottom of the stairs, she heard voices. Blowing out her lantern, Islanda listened as Herringbone gave the order for Captain Goodfellow and his friends to be taken to the dungeons instead of being shot. She'd been hiding on the stair ever since, because she had a feeling the danger threatening the men might not yet have passed. And here, sure enough, was Lord Spittleworth heading for the dungeons with a pistol. "Is the chief advisor anywhere about?" Lady Islanda asked. "I thought I heard his voice earlier." "Herringbone has retired," said Spittleworth. "You see standing before you the new chief advisor, lady." "Oh, congratulations," said Islanda, pretending to be pleased, although she was horrified. So it will be you who oversees the trial of these 3 soldiers in the dungeons, will it?" "You're very well informed, Lady Islanda," said Spittleworth, eyeing her closely. "How did you know there are 3 soldiers in the dungeons?" "I happened to hear Herringbone mention them," said Lady Islanda. "They're well-respected men, it seems. He was saying how important it would be for them to have a fair trial. I know King Fred will agree, because he cares deeply about his own popularity, as he should. For if the king is to be effective, he must be loved." Lady Islanda did a good job of pretending that she was thinking only of the king's popularity, and I think 9 out of 10 people would have believed her. Unfortunately, Spittleworth heard the tremor in her voice and suspected that she must be in love with one of these men. To hurry downstairs in the dead of night, I hope of saving their lives. I wonder, he said, watching her closely, "which of them is it whom you care about so much?" Lady Islanda would have stopped herself, blushing, if she could, but unfortunately she couldn't. "I don't think I can be Ogden," mused Spittleworth, "because he's a very plain man, and in any case he already has a wife. Might it be Wagstaff? He's an amusing fellow, but prone to boils." "No," said Lord Spittleworth softly. "I think it must be handsome Captain Goodfellow who makes you blush, Lady Islanda. But you really stoop so low. His parents were cheesemakers, you know. It makes no difference to me whether a man is a cheesemaker or a king, so long as he behaves with honor," said Islanda. "And the king will be dishonored if those soldiers are shot without a trial, and so I'll tell him when he wakes." Lady Islanda then turned trembling and climbed the spiral staircase. She had no idea whether she'd said enough to save the soldiers' lives, so she spent a sleepless night. Spittleworth remained standing in the chilly passage until his feet were so cold he couldn't barely feel them. He was trying to decide what to do. On the one hand, he really did want to get rid of these soldiers who knew far too much. On the other hand, he feared Lady Islanda was right. People would blame the king if the men were shot without a trial. Then Fred would be angry at Spittleworth and might even take the job of chief advisor away from him. If that happened, all the dreams of power and riches that Spittleworth had enjoyed on the journey back from the marshlands would be dashed. So Spittleworth turned away from the dungeon door and headed to his bed. He was deeply offended by the idea that Lady Islanda, whom he'd once hoped to marry, preferred the son of a cheesemaker. As he blew out his candle, Spittleworth decided that she would pay one day for that insult. He's such a jerk. I just can't. I can't. Spittleworth and Flapoon. I just can't do it. I just can't. I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I hope you guys come back for the rest that I'm about to record now. So thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe. Give me thumbs up. Hit the bell for notifications. Follow me on Instagram. And share and comment. And I will talk to you in my next video.